Hey, time to have a talk, a serious talk about this car. And there's some things that are good about this car. There's some things that are bad about the car. What I've learned about owning the car of your dreams is kind of interesting. And I think that what we do sometimes, we get these cars and and it's a big achievement, right? And I understand that, and I want everybody to be able to get these cars. But you have to think a little bit as far as, one, the financial impact of it, two, the maintenance of it, which we already discussed in a previous video. But now, what exactly do you do with it and how do you use it? For example, this car, I don't drive it except for the warmer months. 8 months out of the year, I could drive it, but during the winter months, I cannot drive it because of the tires. I don't have a secondary set of not winter tires, but all season tires, or Michelin PS4s or something like that for this car, and that probably should be something that I should have did. So I spent the last 4 years, running this car and not really being able to use it all the time. Secondly, the mileage, and even though I don't have that much miles, only 26,000 miles, and it's 10 years old, 11 years old now, the value of these cars is intense, tremendous when it comes to the mileage put on the cars and what it does to the value of the car. And that's something that I wasn't sure about. I figured this car would be something I'd keep forever. But the problem with the GT3 RS is it is great on the track, no doubt. But on the street, it is like a homicidal Wolverine. It hates the street. It hates it. It sputters, it growls, it snarls, and you really can't enjoy the car on the street unless you're doing something obscenely crazy. Anything over 5,000 RPM and you're in the rest me territory in any gear. And that is cool on its face, but you don't always want to be, heard. My wife says she can hear me a quarter mile away, and that is cool, but not cool for police either. And so, maybe it's the 50 in me, but I'm starting to wonder if perhaps, 3RS is really, and I understand this totally, it is for the track. And absolutely, I have my helmets right in there. I am 100% track guy. No problem. My helmet and gloves are right in the front trunk. I have no problem going to the track. The problem is the GT3 RS is a car that you need in addition to another type of car. If you had a Corvette or another type of 911, or whatever tickles your fancy, the 3RS is more of a, let me break this out when I'm really trying to do some stuff on the track, or maybe go on a rally or something like that. But it is not necessarily the main toy. It should be the secondary toy, or if I had this and something else. But if you just have a car like this on its own, one, you got to deal with the shortcomings. For me, I don't care about the noise. I love the noise. I don't even play the radio. I don't care about the ride. The ride is stiff and it's supposed to be stiff. I have no problem with that. But the behavior of the car and the way the things that the car needs, as far as, it needs to be warmed up. It has to be coddled here. You don't do this. You can't do that. You got to make sure it's warmed up. You got to make sure the tires are warm before you get into it. You got to do this. Sometimes you just want to get in the car and go. Sometimes you want to take your wife in the car, and unfortunately my wife hates, she says she doesn't, she is okay, but I think she hates the seats. I don't think, these sport buckets are, mandatory for me, but, I would love for my wife to be able to ride with me comfortably and enjoy the car. She doesn't mind the noise, but she does mind, the shifting and the, things associated with that. And unfortunately to my wife, that's just going to have to be with any kind of performance car. But there's, like I said, good things and bad things about owning these type of cars. And that's why, perhaps it might be time to do something else. As you know, the new ZR1 came out recently, and that is something that I'm kind of interested in. I'm also interested in maybe having a convertible for a change, having an open top experience, having more power. Every now and then I come across something like a Pista or, a Aventador or something, and I have to kind of bow down. I have to bow down to a Turbo S. And even though my car is, about almost 550 horsepower, it's still not as strong as some of the other cars that are out there. And at this stage of the game, with so much technology out there with power, the numbers thing is important to me, because I don't ever want to feel like have to kind of kowtow to some other driver. And unfortunately, in some instances, not many, but every now and then, I kind of have to, step aside and tip my hat to someone in a stronger car. And that's fine. That is being mature. That's knowing your limits. That's not having an ego or attitude, because your car might not always be the best. And I give deference to, other cars around me. I don't, ever want any other driver to feel some kind of way when they see me in the rearview mirror. Hey, what's up? But every now and then, I see something and I'm like, oh man, I bet that'd be cool to have, 800, 700, 600 horsepower. That would be nice. And that itch is really starting to happen. And here's the question. I don't know if I can replace all of this. I don't know if I can find another vehicle that has everything. I mean, this car has CarPlay. I mean, I don't know if I can find a replacement for this vehicle. And that's concerning. It's been a great 4 years. It's been a great experience. I am so blessed to have been able to get my dream car. I've been a Porsche guy all my life. But there are some serious decisions to be made as far as, going forward. What do you do? What's the next move? Financially, how much money do you want to invest in a car like this? These are all kinds of decisions that, we have to make, and as mature people and, responsible, car owners, we have to make the right decisions. And I told my son the other day, I said, you don't buy cars for other people. You buy cars for yourself. You spec cars for you. I don't believe in, speccing cars for other people. This car is set up the way I would expect it myself. And to do something or to get anything less than this is kind of hard, because there's a certain cost associated with that. So that's another factor. So I don't know what's in the plans for this car. I don't know what's in the plans for my driving situation. But that ZR1 might be something to think about. Or maybe it's the 06, who knows? But as far as the Porsche, I still love the brand. I still love, my 3RS and even the new ones. And that's a possibility as well. But for me, I think a Turbo S would be more appropriate for me than a 3RS or any GT product. I'm in the place now where I want more power. And, Porsche, fortunately for us, gives you those options. So let's see what's out there. Is the car for sale? Maybe. But, let's see what's out there, and let's see what opportunities are available. Uh, this is the beginning of the season, and it's really messed up to really be talking about this, because ultimately you never, ever, ever, ever want to make purchases at the beginning of the driving season. You always do your moves in the wintertime. It's just some game, okay? Never buy cars like this in the summer or spring. Never. Always buy them in the winter. That's when prices go up. So, but all the good stuff is coming out now. So, we have to see. I mean, I think that if you are in the market for your dream car, I really, really recommend that you drive it. Talk to people who own the car. Ask questions. I'm sure there are tons of owners at your local coffee meets and stuff like that, cars and coffees, that will be more than glad to answer your questions. These are things that are important. How do you maintain the car? How do you use it? Can you drive it in the wintertime? Does it push all your buttons when you are, not driving it? Do you still appreciate having it? Does the sensation of, the reward of having it go away after a while? You get tired of it? These are questions that you have to ask, and these are important things. And I did do my research, but unfortunately, life happens, and that's where we're at. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens. Okay, but I just want to be honest with you. It is what it is, as my son says. But the experience has been great, and I'm looking forward to what the future has. All right. So God bless. Take care.